Welcome to the final episode of the Beginner's Lounge series. I'm going to cram 3 things into this video. I'm going to cram basic character punishment, throws, and a wall combo guide. So first of all, to talk about character punishment, we must talk about what frames are in a fighting game. Frames are... Every fighting game runs at 60 frames per second. So every second, 60 individual frames are drawn on screen. And we measure all moves and basically almost anything animation-wise in fighting games based on frames. This includes punishment, because certain moves in this game leave you vulnerable for a set number of animation frames until you can recover and block. So basically you need to get to know each character you're playing against to figure out what moves they do that you can get a guaranteed move hit in on them. So first of all, I just wanted to say you need to find what your character's punishers are. I picked Cassandra because she has a very cut and dry punisher for every frame up to 20, from 10 frame to 20 frame. It's kind of weird in Soulcalibur 6 again because moves are only animated in even frames. This is a thing that's completely unique to Soulcalibur 6. But so we can start with Cassandra's AA. This is basically the fastest move in the game. Is a 10 frame move. So it's not even often that your character will have one. But of course, Cassandra has one, and she can punish a lot of moves that no one else can. And she can punish it with just her basic AA. And that is one of the fundamental pokes to every single character. It's just it's basically a jab string. And then moving on from the 10 frame, she has 12 frame. You wouldn't really use it over AA very often, but she has 2A, which gives decent frames on hit. And then she has her standing K. Both are just, I'm sure they have their uses. Maybe the K has longer reach in some scenarios, but I don't know. You'll use AA most often. And then moving on to 14 frame, most characters, including Cassandra, have a BB. Although she'll use the BK to punish. It does more damage and it has more plus frames on it. Unless you wanted to mix people up with, goofy stuff. But BK gives +8 on block and, So most characters have a really chunky punish at 14 frames. There'll be something that gives good plus frames. Is usually a 2-hit combo. Most BBs are 14 frames in this game. And then moving on to 16 frames, Cassandra has 6 BB. And 16 frames is when you should be looking at pretty decent damage. Most characters have, I would say, they at least get a knockdown or good plus frames, good damage. Cassandra gets great plus frames, good damage. She also gets her critical edge at 16 frames if you want to spend a bar meter. So you pretty much get the best of both worlds. She also gets Divine Force. At 18 frames, there's really nothing in particular you want to use that isn't 6BB or CE. She can do this. There we go. That does wall splat, and we'll get into that later, because you'll want to choose the right punish depending on if you're at the wall or not. And that's the only time I could think of using this instead of your other punisher. And that's just her little angel step AB. And then at 20 frames, she gets her launcher. And most characters' launchers start at around 20 frames. There are some that are faster at 18, like Mr. Ruby, but most common it's at 20 frames that they start. And you can get, your max bread and butter. They usually launch, they're vertical. So out of all the punishers, you need to really focus on your fastest punisher to punish the moves that are very that need a quick punish. So like you'll need to find your jab string, your AA. or whatever you're going to use for those -12, -10 scenarios. And then I want you to find the BB, whatever your 14 frame is. Even if you're a nightmare player, you finally get a punish then, and you get a K. Then after that, just basically find your max damage for 16 through 20. Because that's when the frames start to coalesce a little bit and you can take your pick. You know, Cassandra can really take your pick. And then we have to move on to the fact that sometimes you'll block moves and crouch. And that will change the moves you can use to punish. So I can't use my AA here. See, I'll get wall rising A. And this is actually one of her slowest options from crouch. So you can't just like mash 1-1 hoping to get a 10 frame punish from crouch. Instead, Cassandra has to use this is her 12 frame punish from crouch. And there's often moves that are -12 from crouch, so get to know whatever your 12 frame option is. A lot of characters it's wall rising K. Seems to be kind of a universal thing for that to be the case. After that, Cassandra has a 14 frame punisher with full crouch down forward A. It's a pretty good one. She gets Divine Force. She can do her Angel Step B from crouch, so that's her 16 frame punish. I think she can even CE, so after that it's kind of, you know, it's the same as standing. She gets this, which doesn't actually launch, and it's 18 frames, but it gives a knockdown. So it's basically one of her best options is to either CE or kind of do this, honestly. Or, you know, you can even do this, which is a little more damage, yeah, at 18. But that's just like I didn't want to go into Cassandra's punishment in particular. I just wanted to get you understanding of what it even means to punish moves and how to find your character's punishers. Just find the quick ones, find the big damage ones, take your pick, and then learn what punishes what. Then I wanted to quickly go over throws in this game because it's a little unique. So in this game, if you see the camera zooms in when you're thrown, you have a very long time to input a throw tech in this game, as they call it. Throw tech means in this game you have two options to pick when an opponent throws you. It's either they're going to throw you with a neutral throw, which you can break with any attack button with no direction held. And then if they do the back option, you need to press back and any attack button to break that. This gets a little more complicated because there are command throws in the game, which are like Cassandra's one here. Command throws are any throw that is inputted with a more complicated input than the standard A plus G. So this is back forward A plus G. And it's her best throw because she gets Divine Force on if you don't break it. If you break that, they get +8 frames of advantage on you, so it's still their turn. So they're very powerful throws. So you need to look out for the ones that they love to do. Some characters only have one command throw, and you need to get to know that one in particular to know when you're going to be at the disadvantage. Like right here, you can see me get knocked all the way down. Whereas if I break this one, we're actually neutral then. It's neither player's turn. So throws are pretty intuitive in this game. It used to be to where you would either break with the A or the B button, but I liked how they simplified it into either any attack button or any attack button plus back. That was a very intuitive change, I think. But some veterans are having trouble with that to this day. And then lastly, I wanted to go over the idea of a wall combo. That basically, the wall system is completely different than any other game I've played, and it goes by some very peculiar rules. Basically, you'll find what move in your kit, wall splats, there's lots of them. And then after that, you'll figure out that the basic rules of a wall combo are you get your wall splat, you get probably one more hit in there, and then you can wall splat them again, and then you can do an ender. So Cassandra, I have no idea. You know, that's just my goofy Cassandra wall combo. So you'll get one wall splat, another wall splat, and an ender. So bop, bop, or I could probably do that. Sure, whatever. A good thing to know is that some walls are either breakable like this one. This one is breakable by 3 wall hits, and then it becomes a ring out stage. And then some walls are called half walls, and they're peculiar because some things that would otherwise wall splat on this stage would ring out. So you kind of have to get to know what your options are, because some moves that don't even wall splat will ring out on a half wall. And I wanted to combine the throw and wall game system in with this video because they're very easy to talk about, very quick. All you need to know, 2 wall splats, ender, find your wall splats, and that's it, folks. I think this is the final video, so I'm going to go into an Ivy matchup guide next, and then I might do a Cervantes character breakdown after that. Alright, have a good one.